everyone. Marty Chinesky here, being your host today on Local Sports Wrap-Up. It is the 29th day of April in 2025. Flying solo because I have no friends. Nobody wants to do the show with me. What a bummer. I have acquaintances. I have a lot of buddies. Got no real friends. That's not true. We're going to start with rowing because I'm going to tell you what. Wyandotte Roosevelt won the Hebda Cup, the 59th Hebda Cup, and basically they won the Hebda Cup thanks to the girls. It's sponsored and run by the Wyandotte Boat Club, and I want to say that last Saturday out there on the water, it was cold. Some of them rowers were wearing sweatshirts, just trying to stay warm. 59th edition, 10 different schools competing in some capacity. The Bears emerged as champions on the women's side, while the team from Parkersburg, West Virginia took home the men's title. But the overall title went to the women. It started back in 1964, so this is the 59th, like they say. They missed a couple. Sometimes weather cancels these things out, for those that don't know. It features a 1,500-meter course on the Detroit River. Runs between the western shore of Groesville, basically where the toll bridge is, and the Wyandotte shore. They take their boats down the river, and they turn around, they line up down there, and then they race against the current. And I will say that it looked like the current was moving last Saturday. The finish line is back at the park. There were 7 different schools that are members of the Wyandotte Boat Club, 6 of which were on hand. Dearborn Heights, Crestwood, Gibraltar, Carlson, Groesville, Riverview, and Trenton. There was also a couple of non-local participants, Saline and Parkersburg, along with a couple of Ohio-based schools, Toledo Central Catholic and Toledo St. Francis de Sales. This combined championship marks the second one in as many Hebda Cups for Roosevelt. Solid rowing team, who prior to 2023 had not won the outright trophy since 2019. And we will find out later that I believe it was Carlson that won it 3 years in a row. Last year in 2024, Roosevelt celebrated like they won, but it got canceled due to weather. And when it got canceled, Roosevelt had an early lead. The meet as a whole was dominated by the two champions, as Roosevelt finished with 41 points and just one ahead of the runner-up Parkersburg, who had 40. Then it was a cluster of 5 different schools, be it separated by 3 points, but they were a long way back. River and Trenton had 17. Carlson had 15.5. Groesville had 15. Saline, 14. And then at St. Francis de Sales, they got a half a point. So they were out of the mix. But the women, we had to talk about the women. Bears finished with 30 points, well ahead of Riverview and Parkersburg, who tied for second with 12. Way to go, Lady Bears. Trenton, 11, finished 4th. Saline, 7.5. Carlson, 1.5. Groesville had 1 point, which 1 point for Groesville, that just doesn't sound right, only because they're on the water too. I can understand, like, Carlton Airport, but anyway. They set the tone by winning 2 of the first 3 events, including the women, by the way, the Junior 8+ and the Varsity 4+. Am I saying that right? And first place honors in the lightweight 4 before wrapping up the day with a win in the Varsity 8. So there was 4 victories by the Lady Bears. They tallied runner-up finishes in the JV 4+, which was the only victory on the women's side for Trenton. 3 second-place finishes for Trenton, and Novice 4, Varsity 4, and Varsity 4X. Riverview tied Parkersburg for the second most first-place finishes with 2. Pirates paced the pack in the Novice 4 and the Novice 4X. Carlson, who came in having won each of the 2 previous Hebda Cup women's championships, finished today with a trio of third-place finishes, Novice 4X, Varsity 2X, Varsity 4X events. And Grosse-Ile, meanwhile, placed 3rd in the Varsity 4 and the JV 4. That covers the local part. On the boys' side, we had Roosevelt had 11 points. The boys kind of went the same way as the girls, as in the team from West Virginia had 28 points, doubling up the second-place teams of Carlson and Grosse-Ile. So the Grosse-Ile boys are solid. And then Roosevelt had 11. They finished in 4th. Saline, 7. Trenton, 6. Riverview, 5. St. Francis, that same school, got a half a point on the boys' side. Let's see here. But those 11 points that the boys mustered to go with the 30 points that the girls won gave them 41, which was 1 point ahead of the school from Parkersburg. And that was enough to win it. And there's a lot of pictures on the internet of them. Roosevelt matched Carlson in the terms of top 3 finishes with 6, half of which were the runner-up variety. The lone first-place finish for the Bears and the boys' side came in the Novice 4 Plus event. Sandwiched around that were second-place honors in Varsity 4, Novice 4, as well as 2 boats placing 2nd and 3rd in the JV 4. So you must be able to compete with like 2 teams of the novice of the JV 4. That's best I can figure. So they're going to return this Saturday, which is called the Y-High Regatta. And interesting that nobody came into my building to get an ad for the Y-High. I'm always giving ads to the Y-High. I don't understand it. But usually they just look at last year's program and call me up. But anyway, they'll have to hit me up next year. I'll buy a bigger ad. Competing schools from Saturday's Hebda Cup will return to BASF Park next Saturday. The racing will start at around 7:30 in the morning. It's usually when the water's calmest in the morning, but man, if they were out there today, the wind's blowing 40 miles an hour, there would be no racing. Then they'll do heats. What they do is they eliminate and eliminate and eliminate until they get the final race to go down. And those final 8 teams will compete. So congrats again. Excuse me. Joel will have to edit that. Boys, the girls, the overall Wyandotte champs with the girls winning the women's division. Very awesome. Now on my phone here, I've got a lot of Wyandotte things to talk about. Interesting site, WPS Athletics on Facebook. You can absolutely stay on top of things, and then if you follow Tom Wilson, you'll get softball results. Plenty of them. We got get Mr. Wilson on here to talk one day. One thing it starts out with the high school, Roosevelt High School cheer tryouts are June 2nd and June 9th. That will be all the JV kids. Obviously, seniors graduate, and there are openings. Not unlike me and my bowling team. I only had 1 senior out, but she needs to be replaced. It leaves an opening for a bowler to step in. Same thing with the cheer. They're going to be, where are tryouts? It just says RHS, no, June 9th to 12th, 5 to 7. Doesn't say where. Well, better get a hold of the school to find out. Girls track competed in the Carlson Invite over the weekend. First place was taken by Catherine Fugan Severia in discus with a throw of 106 feet 7 inches. That's pretty good. And she was 7th in the shot put. Other medalists were Lillian Edwards in the 100-meter. Good for her. Eleanor Grant, we know a lot about her, her older sister. They like to run long distances. Eleanor got the 1600. Lorelei Harris in the 3200 and Stella Sobush in the 300 hurdles. And on the boys' side, first place was taken by Chris Luna in the pole vault with a jump of 11 feet 6 inches. About another 7 feet he can compete in the Olympics because they do about 18 feet, from what I understand. Alex Emery in the high jump, 6'2". Pretty good jump. Other medalists were Jaden Hagenbuch in the 100 meters, Noah Amori in the 1600 and 3200, Ben Demmer in discus, and Connor Turner in the long jump. Wyandotte baseball is cruising. We have, I'll read some other results in a second. They split a doubleheader a couple days ago in Canton. The Bears won the second game 3-2 in dramatic fashion with a walk-off infield hit by Luke Hurleman that scored Zach Hoffman. And Hurleman and Hoffman both had 3 hits in the game. Matthew Caudle pitched 6 1/3 innings, giving up only 2 runs. Jaden McGowan finished pitching for the win. And again, it says, go Bears. On the girls' soccer side, they defeated Dearborn. This is 3 days ago, 3 or 4. Dearborn ATA 4-1, and Summit Academy 7-0 in a soccer tournament at Roosevelt High School. That was last weekend. Yeah, the teams finished today 2-1 and finished second in the tournament. Go Bears. The Hebden Cup again. The girls won a division. Some great pictures. Check it out. It's WPS Athletics on Facebook. And one more, I have Athlete of the Week from last week. I might have talked about him, might not have. Jack Halberstadt, sophomore. He pitched a complete game no-hitter versus Edsel Ford. That was probably last week sometime, yeah. 17 strikeouts in 16 2/3 innings. He's hitting .375, and he's got 6 stolen bases. So good for him. And one more thing, last Wednesday, after we recorded on Tuesday, the varsity girls softball defeat Carlson, always a tough challenge for them. A multiple hit performance by Ellie Eisenegger. Ellie being one of my bowlers, talk about her anytime. Collected 4 hits at 5 at-bats. She hit a bomb, knocked one off the scoreboard, from what we understand. He had a solo home run to center field in the 4th inning, tripled in the 5th inning, singled in the 1st inning, and then going for the cycle, she singled in the 7th inning. If I was her, I wouldn't have stopped running, because when it was 13-7, it was probably too close to try to stretch it and get the cycle. Very cool, very cool. And one more thing I have from 5 days ago with soccer is Wyandotte defeating Southgate 4-1. Morgan Lake led the way for the Bears with 2 goals. Amelia Grentz and Brianna Vieira each added a goal. So that's pretty cool. Way to go, Lady Bears. Baseball, softball, a lot of Wyandotte information there. Yeah, we had one game where 4 girls went yard. Shayla Gurley, Grace Papler, Ellie Eisenegger, and Xaria Ellis. That was against the game against Gibraltar Carlson. Very cool. That was the game that Ellie almost hit for the cycle. Very cool, very cool, very cool. A couple of quick, I got one more about Roosevelt. They split with Trenton in a key Downriver League dual meet, the girls tennis. Both teams, interesting. Wyandotte hit the road to battle Trenton. Both teams came in the meet with a combined 8-1 record on the season. So this was a big match, and they ended up tying it. Thursdays was the 3rd day of competition in as many days for Roosevelt, who lost 6-2 to Allen Park, and then bounced back with a 5-3 win versus Edsel Ford. And Trenton had it wrapped up, man. They appeared to make it 5 in a row in their win column because they had just won 4 straight. But a late 3-set victory allowed the visiting Bears to salvage a tie. That draw-inducing match took place at number 2 doubles, which was the final flight of the afternoon. Trenton leading 4-3 at the time. The number 2 doubles match required 3 sets, as opposed to a lot of times when they go 1-1, they'll do a quick whoever gets the 10 winner. But they didn't do it this time. They played a full set. And a comeback win of sorts for Roosevelt's Annie Ziegler and Ella Keithy. They dropped the first set. They rallied back to take the final 2 sets against Trenton's Brooke Butson and Gianna Quails. 4-6, then 6-3, 6-4. Way to go, girls. And but I also think it's very cool that Ziegler and Keithley improved to 6-0 on the season while handling Butson Qualls combination of Trenton, the first loss in 4 matches played. And the other doubles win came on the number 3 flight, which saw Adriana Pardon and Julia Hayner, defeat Trenton's Katie Skiles and Riley Lewis 6-0, 6-3. Pardon has now played 6 double matches this spring, 4 of those alongside Hayner, and she hasn't lost yet. Very cool. So we've got a pretty solid group there on the girls' tennis, as they're 8-1, and now they're 8-1-1. And meanwhile, Roosevelt got another impressive showing from Olivia Blackledge, who defeated Trenton's Cicely Sawicki in the number 1 singles affair. Now, your best player plays number 1 singles. Your second best player plays number 2 singles, number 3 singles, number 4 singles. There's 4 points. And then same thing goes with the doubles. You have a number 1 seed doubles, a number 2 seed doubles, 3 and 4 seed doubles. There's your 8 points. You got to win 5 of them, or 4.5. Well, there are no draws. They just keep playing until somebody wins. So the freshman, she's a freshman, Olivia Blackledge, now sits at 6-0 on the spring, with 5 of her match wins being decided in straight sets. She took care of Cicely Sawicki 6-4, 6-1. Up next, no, they're not up next. Oh yeah, freshman Kira Byrne. She snapped a 2-game losing streak against Trenton with a straight set victory over in the number 4 singles, 6-1, 7-5, over Trenton's Irilyn Oboza. So it looks like the Bears are solid, and we're going to give some of the credit to the coach. Obviously, the Bears tennis coach knows what he's doing. I know a couple of my bowlers are playing tennis now, but I don't expect them to walk right in. You know, you don't never play tennis or just play casually and walk right in and expect to be competing with some of these girls that are playing like, you know, all their life. And same on the bowling team. You're not going to walk into my bowling team and unless you've been bowling all your life and you're a freshman and make the lineup. You know, it's all about who can knock down the most pins, and there it's all about who can, you know, play the best. So I think the softball team's on track. Baseball team's doing good. Tennis team's doing good. Soccer team, I think, is hovering right around 500. Wyandotte Sports is looking up. I know they got football coaches working the summer program, and we have a few things. You know, Michigan State High School Baseball Coaches Association puts out a ranking of, quote unquote, the best teams in the state. And some of the downriver teams made that list, which is pretty impressive to say the least. Like in Division I, we have Woodhaven at 11-3 is the 14th ranked team, and Detroit Western at 9-3 is the 18th ranked team. In Division II, in baseball, New Boston Huron is 13-0, but that only gets them into 3rd place, which makes no sense. Orchard Lake St. Mary's is on top, but I think they won it last year, and I think that keeps you around. But this year they're 9-5. How does that put you so far up when you're 9-5? I'm looking at this list, and the next 12 teams have better records than that. Reputation will get you a long way. Just ask the University of Michigan. Trenton's 6th. They're 9-1. And Dearborn Divine Child's 12th at 9-4. So that's pretty cool. And then in Division 3, oh no, Division 2, one more team. Division 1, Division 2. Yeah, one more team in Division 2, Flat Rock, who I believe won or finished in the Final Four last year, and they're sitting at 18th at 7-4. So that, and I think Division 3 has one team in it, and that's our gang from E-Course, who's early in the season. They're 5-2, and they're hanging into the 19th spot in the Michigan High School Baseball Coaches Association. On the softball side of things, we have always two teams in the mix. Division 1. Allen Park is ranked 6th. In their weekly schedule in softball, I just want to say this is how Allen Park rolls. On the 21st, they took care of Wyandotte 5-0. On the 23rd, they took care of Southgate 13-0. A day later, 18-0 Etzel Ford. 2 days later, 10-0 against Lincoln Park. So Allen Park is just a juggernaut. Wyandotte, took care of Carlson 13-7. Wyandotte doing all right. Because that's a team they had a hard time getting by. Now tomorrow, Allen Park plays Taylor in a doubleheader. Woodhaven and Wyandotte compete. Flat Rock and Lincoln Park compete. And on the boys' side, tomorrow, the 29th, again, it's Woodhaven and Wyandotte. Allen Park and Taylor, doubleheaders. Carlson, LP, Trenton, Etzel Ford. So that's, you can catch the base. It's going to be a little chilly tomorrow. But anyway, Allen Park in softball, top 6, number 6. They don't have their records. And Woodhaven is in the top 10. They are 10th. And those two teams, I think Woodhaven got by Allen Park last week. I talked about that. They got the first match. In Division 2, well, you've got Divine Child. They're always solid. They're ranked number 2. And number 8 is Carlton Airport, which they are usually a pretty solid team themselves. Got 2 more things to talk about here. Letter of intent. I lost one. Let's find it. Southgate Anderson's Jackson Sage, who was one of the best players downriver, signed on to play football at Albion College. While I hunt for stuff. There it is. Let's see. He's a multi-sport athlete. Finalized his college decision. He's going to Albion. He will be joining the football program. He was the starting quarterback for Anderson. He led the school to 3 consecutive playoff appearances. He also individually earned all News Herald honors in each of those seasons. He was second team All-Area. He amassed close to 2,400 scrimmage yards, and he scored 30 touchdowns. He's been a fixture for the Anderson wrestling program throughout his high school career. He helped the Titans capture their first Downriver League title in 7 years, and he was named All-Area for the 4th time in as many seasons, after placing 4th at States the 2nd time in his career doing so. So we want to wish Jackson Sage success over at Albion College. Albion. And the other one I have is Flat Rock's senior student athlete Carter Aker signed his national letter of intent to play football at Adrian College next year. He's been part of the Flat Rock varsity program for each of the last 3 seasons, and the last 2, which saw the Rams reach the Division 5 state semis. He's a 2-way lineman. Is named the All-News Herald team. He had been part of the boys' swimming and diving team for 3 of his 4 high school years. And I'm just curious. I was talking to the golf coach about the Wayne State golf coach about how much he pays his players. And he says he doesn't have to pay them because they get noticed. They get money from like using the certain clubs or whatever. But so the smaller schools aren't paying like the big schools are paying football people, obviously. But I got a couple things. One more thing to talk about, which is pretty interesting. Trenton and Etzel Ford, two of the strongest teams in the Downriver League. Trenton went on to win this game 4-3, and it is the Trenton girls soccer's 37th straight victory in the Downriver League. So that's like 3 years. Easy 3 years, 12 games a year. And they probably play a few more than 12. So we'll call it 2.5 years. And they went up, you know, they were up with 25 minutes left, 4-1, but Etzel Ford didn't quit. And all the goals were scored. Nicole Gramado scored all the goals for Etzel Ford, where Chloe Weishart scored a couple for Trenton. So Trenton's a solid team in soccer, and so is Etzel Ford. So we'll see how they roll. Like they rolled against, like yesterday they rolled against Southgate 8-0, and Trenton took care of Taylor 8-0. And trying to see what else we got here. Yeah, that's it for those two schools. But they're a solid program. Okay, next week I will be taking my abilities to the National Bowling Championship with my daughter and a bunch of my friends. Maybe I can recruit someone to talk the following week. But I'm Marty Chinesky, and I am your host of Local Sports Wrap-Up, and it's been a pleasure talking to you for the last half hour. And we will wrap up. I want to say hi, Mom. And go Bears. Let's go Bears.